In the one bustling town of Ibiza, near Ikorodu, lived a vibrant boy named Ayotunde, Ayo for short. He was the only son of Adirunke, a soft-spoken yet fiery young woman, known for her gait and beauty. She sold akara by the roadside every day and recites proverbs to the children in the neighborhood on Sunday nights. Everyone whispered over misfortunes since a husband left early in their marriage, leaving her to raise a son all alone, barely able to meet any needs, but with absolute determination to make a good life. Ayo grew up under the glow of Hurricane lamps, with his mother's lullabies replacing the lull of a father he never knew. Every day she told him, "A river that forgets its source will trial. Never forget who you are." Ayo was brilliant, top of his class in public secondary school. He earned a scholarship to study computer science at the University of Ibadan. Life there was tough, shared hostel, strikes, and garibinas, but he graduated with honors and dreams bigger than the Third Milan Bridge. Fresh out of the NYC, Ayo arrived in Lagos with a small backpack, a folder of certificates, and a million dreams. But Lagos didn't care about degrees. For every job interview, there were 100 others. Connections were king, and Ayo had none. He slept on couches, took odd jobs, taught pythons to kids in Yaba for peanuts. His phone was filled with "we regret to inform you" emails. Adrian kept back in between, sold more akarab, and took ill quietly, shielding her pains behind WhatsApp stickers that said God is in control. One afternoon, Ayo went to Makoko to volunteer at a floating school tech initiative. That's where he met Dara, a fierce, dreadlocked documentary filmmaker from Agedi, in Lagos to capture Obe resilience. She wears native with sneakers, unquoted Walisha in color scripture. They clashed at first. He thought she was too radical. She thought it was too straight-laced. But under the humid sunset of Makoko, while helping kids write their first lines of code, something beautiful sparked. Dara encouraged into Lot is Longeld idea, coordinator. A grassroots tech setup teaching coding in undeserved communities. She even made a viral documentary about it. The video blew up on Instagram. People donated. I opted at a tech hub in Victoria Island and won a startup grant. It got a shared office in Yaba and hired 2 of his NYC friends. But Wahala came knocking. The grants had strings attached. Ayo Setsio stole money. A nosy politician wanted in some 40% equity. Code Nigeria almost folded. Dara stressed with Lagos-like plans to move to Nairobi. The problems were too many. Then on one day, the Dekra Niger was to close shop. Tech for Africa, a German NGO, visited Makoko and loved the project. They offered funding and a mentorship program in Berlin. As Ayo's life began to shine, his mother fell seriously ill and had to be moved to a private hospital in Ikorodu. There she met Mr. Remo, a widowed retired literature teacher who read up poetry during dialysis. At first, Edulko resisted. "I am too old for love," she would say, "but love is a stubborn goat. It keeps knocking." Eventually, they began taking evening strolls, sharing popaf and poetry on the mango trees. When I found out it was short, his sweet akara-selling mother is in love. But during one of his visits to Bethel Dara, he saw his mother laugh in a way he had never seen in years. He could only smile and whisper to himself, "She deserves it." A year later, Code Nighter expired to 6 dates. I spoke to TEDx League. He and Dara co-founded a media tech initiative called Echoes of the Ghetto. She stayed after all. And one of those days, on a bright Saturday evenings, with an absolute gorgeous sunset, I proposed to Dara using a drone that dropped the ring box. She said yes in Europe and English. 2 months later, in a joyful ceremony, Ayo and Dara got married in a traditional Yoruba way. Mr. Ramu was all around Adirunka wearing a lacy romper but dancing to Sanyati. Like lovebirds, they looked very happy and good together. Wonders will end in the sea. Who strange abandoned them decades ago showed up quietly at the wedding with tears and a letter of apology. After an initial rage, Ayo read the letter and listened to what he had to say. He didn't hug him, but he didn't walk away either. The wedding ended and Ayo and Dara went to start their new lives. Well, given all their new energy to their now thriving business, Mr. Aramu also went to see Adirondack's people for engagement rites. All we hear him say these days is a runky here, a runky there, a runky this, a runky that. A beautiful union is forming. Today, people see Makoko batted in movements. Ayandara Rontic and art projects across Africa. Adrien and Mr. Aramu host an online storytelling podcast for seniors. And every now and then, Ayo reminds young dreamers that even the sun rises from the slum if you don't stop dreaming.